Spoilers for the Game Changer episode, The Drinking Game ahead, you have been warned. Did you notice the magic trick that Sam Reich did during the drinking game? Yeah, we all know that Sam loves magic. He has a collection of Theory 11 playing cards, he performed a magic trick in the Escape Room episode of Game Changer, and in 1 year later, he even made contestants learn and perform a full magic act. But this time, he didn't just perform a trick. No, he used magic to control the game and the episode, and nobody even noticed. Something I found interesting was that Sam actually did a secret magic trick in the latest episode, The Drinking Game. And I call it a secret magic trick, and I refer to Sam as a secret magician, not because we don't know he likes magic, that's very public and very obvious, but because of the way he did the magic. He didn't perform a magic trick. It wasn't a trick for a knowing audience who knew they were going to see magic. No, he used a magic prop to inflict real psychological subterfuge on people, his players, and us, the audience. It wasn't a trick. It was a trick. I made a YouTube short about this a couple days ago, and based on feedback, I don't think I explained it as in-depth as I could have, so that's not required viewing. I will be going more in-depth and explaining everything right here in this video. Here's try number 2, mainly based on questions and feedback I got in the comment section of that YouTube short and the Reddit post about that YouTube short. So the background for this magic trick is the episode of Game Changer, Drinking Game. Sam had contestants choose a bottle cap from a bag. He claimed that there were 6 caps in total, 5 of which said drunk and 1 of which said sober. If you pulled the sober chip, you were going to play the secret sober, and you had to fool the other drunk players into thinking that you were also drunk, and if you did so, you would win a large sum of money. But if you didn't, the drunk players would win a large sum of money. But that was a lie, a ruse, and maybe a magic trick. Yeah, Sam controlled the outcome entirely. First, I'll tell you how, then we'll get into the why, which I didn't focus on last time. Essentially, Sam just used a magic prop called a change bag. It's a pretty basic trick. Some are opaque and some are completely see-through, but they accomplish the same thing. Sam's was made of black fabric, but I have a completely clear one that I made to illustrate how this works. If I reach into this bag, I know without a doubt I'm going to pull out a sober bottle cap, in this case a piece of paper. Let's just pull it out and check. Yep. Sober bottle cap. But if I reach back in, I know for a fact that I will pull out a drunk bottle cap. Let's see. Absolutely drunk. And I can do that again. This one's going to be drunk. The next one here is going to be sober. How am I doing this? Well, the change bag actually has 2 different pockets in it. I made one that's easy to disassemble, so you can see I took one pocket out of the other pocket. All of the chips in here say sober, all of them in here say drunk. So I, as the person holding the bag, can make the audience member, or in this case, the Game Changer player, choose whichever chip I want. I can control the outcome entirely. This bag is more what Sam's looks like. His was just black cloth, but this is the version I use in my show. It looks like a kid's magician prop. It even has a zipper on the bottom to convince you that truly nothing is in there. I'll turn it inside out. I'll turn it outside in. That's the line from my show. But you saw that there was nothing in here. One more time, I'll show you absolutely nothing in there. I will take this sober chip right here, fold it up, drop it in, wave of my hand, ta-da, I pull it out, and now it is a drunk chip. Sober to drunk, 1 drink is all it takes, but no, I can wave it back, I can bring back the sober chip right here. You can do a lot with this little device, like controlling the outcome of a game show. And of course that one is more of a magic trick that's meant to be used on stage. Sam's was more nonchalant, maybe custom made, maybe he sewed it up himself, maybe he bought it from a magic shop. I don't know where he got that bag, but it does look suspiciously like a change bag, especially with the movements he's doing. That was the how, but what about the why? Why do it this way and make it more complicated? Couldn't Sam have just switched the bags when nobody was looking, when the player was facing the camera? To that matter, couldn't Sam have just handed the player a drunk bottle cap after they chose the sober bottle cap and told them to film something else for editing and for post? Those are some of the questions I got in my comments and on the r/dropout subreddit. While all of these solutions do accomplish the same thing, there are a few reasons I think he used the change bag to accomplish this. The first is the objective of the game. This is where the twist comes in. The game isn't actually to find the one secret sober person. No, the twist is that every player chose a sober bottle cap. Because this is the real point of the game, Sam needed to convince the players without a doubt in their mind that they, and they alone, are the secret sober person in the room, and that everybody else is drunk out of their minds. He had to convince them of that fact without emphasizing or drawing attention to the fact, because if he draws attention to that fact, they're going to start thinking about it. And once they start thinking about it, they might think that the twist is that they're all sober. And once they start thinking about it, that's it. Game over. The deal is done. Okay, fine, you're buying that, but wouldn't it have been easier to just change out the bags when nobody was looking? One bag has all sober caps, one bag has all drunk caps. Wouldn't that have been easier? Maybe. Maybe not, though. But the reason I think Sam didn't just switch the bags is because he wasn't trying to fool us, the viewer. Again, he was trying to fool the contestants. At the risk of repeating myself, the moment he does not trick one of the players, the game is over. All of them have to think without a doubt in their mind that they're the only one secret sober and everybody else had pulled the drunk chip. There's one moment in the episode where Angela reaches into the bag, pulls out the sober cap, plays it up to the camera, and then Sam says, "Go ahead, choose any other bottle cap," literally any other bottle cap. And that's very important because that shows that Sam was sort of subtly emphasizing that, no matter what you choose, it's going to be drunk. You chose the only one sober chip. Watching it back, that moment is what signals to me that Sam was tricking the players. No need for the bag switch and to do any extra movement, turn around, go into your pocket. No need to do anything if you just use a change bag. Now here's a question I got a few times. Couldn't Sam have just handed them directly a bottle cap that says drunk and told them to film something for the edit just in case they needed to use that? Well, he could have, but if you have a bag and there's only one sober bottle cap in there, and then Sam reaches into his pocket and hands you a drunk chip, why couldn't you just grab one from the bag? Again, it's not like this big conspiracy or anything, it's just about keeping the doubt out of the players' minds. Like, as far as they know, all of those caps now say drunk. Why couldn't you just reach in and grab one? It's this perceived freedom that keeps the game flowing. It's this perceived freedom of you being allowed to go back into that bag that you've already picked from, knowing they'll all say drunk. There's no chance that it's going to be a sober. It reinforces the lie that you have been told and that you are now telling yourself. You're so giddy with joy, you get to be the secret role. You might be nervous, you might have anxiety, you might be ready to play it up for the camera, but it's just about not thinking about it. The moment you start to think about it, it could unravel. Not saying it will, but it could. In the comments, there was also a bit of a theme of you're overthinking this, and to that I say, maybe. I'm a magician. But so is Sam, right? So is Sam. We know he loves magic. We know he added it to episodes of Game Changer and his life. He brings up magic every chance he can. I do wonder who his favorite magician is, or if he knows about the magician that reviews dropout stuff. That's not the point. The point is just to say that if Sam likes magic, why not use it at every opportunity he can? This is just another opportunity to add magic to Game Changer and make it a business expense and have dropout purchase it instead of him. Magicians like making things complicated because we like magic and we like doing magic and looking for any excuse to do magic. And finally, one last commenter mentioned that I am an alright talking head. If you also think that and you want to stick around, subscribe. I have a video where I straight up tell you how much I made in a year and how I got there, and then I also make documentaries about racist magicians because they need to be exposed. And if you like this, I promise that I will cover any other dropout magic tricks. Thank you so much for watching.